Hello everyone, how's it going? It is me, Geo. I'm sure y'all know me. This is a low effort video I wanted to make on the Queen Bee. Uh, so for those of you who don't know, the showcase came out a while ago. And by a while ago, I mean like about 2 or 3 days ago, maybe one day ago, I can't remember. All I know is that Queen Bee released, or at least she was showcased in this stream. So we're going to be looking at her, we're going to be judging her design and judging her base kit because a piece of it has been revealed, so might as well look into that as well. But we're mostly going to talk about her design because I think a very important thing about these new hunters, especially identity hunters, is their designs. But before we continue, I do need to clarify when we talk about the Queen Bee's kit is the fact that it's not final. That should be pretty obvious, but seeing as this is her first showcase and we're not going to be seeing her until the new story event's going to happen, which is not going to be for like another month, I think. But for like the next season. So like we're not going to see her until the next season happens. So obviously all of this stuff that we're seeing on the sorry, this is going to be all. I do need to preface this. This is all going to be recorded. There's not going to be a script. I'm just going to be improvising on the spot for this. I'm going to try and make this one take, just so the music just keeps playing without any interruptions. I will change the music every now and then, but other than that, I do want this to be all in one take. This is why I said this is going to be a rushed, like very lazy video for me to record because all I'm going to be doing is talking about the Queen Bee for this video. And like I said earlier, this is not her final kit. Like this is not her final design, at least for her abilities. These things are subject to change when she finally releases in the test server when the next season rolls around. So yeah, when it comes to the abilities part of her showcase, we're not gonna really dive too in depth about it. There's gonna be some things I will complain about in her abilities portion of the video, but other than that, I'm not gonna criticize it too much. So just a fair warning there. So I guess the first thing I want to break down is her design. You know, this thing right here, her design. And okay, let me go back a little bit so you can get a. Actually, no, let me just do this. This is her full design for the what's her name? Queen Bee. This is Queen Bee's design, and uh, overall, it's not bad. Like, it's not a bad design. I'm not gonna say it's a bad design. There are a few things about the design I do really like. I do like the claws on her hand. That's how she attacks, by the way. She attacks using those claws, and I do like them somewhat. They kind of remind me of the stingers that a bee would have. Oh, by the way, if you're expecting any pictures of a bee, just forget it. I don't like bees, so I'm not gonna show any pictures of bees. But like, these look like the stinger, at least from my point of view. Like these look like they would be from the stinger. I also do really like her dark, like blackened feet right here. Once again, reminds me of the feet of a bee, and the wings look good, and that's really it. That's really it for Queen Bee, and that does, I guess while we're at that topic, that does really paint a big issue I have with identity hunters as a whole. Uh, Now, for those of you who don't know, identity hunters are a concept that went as far back as Time of Reunion, but they did went back a lot further because it wasn't revealed that Nightmare was an identity hunter in the 2019 showcase until Time of Reunion happened. So, we got our first look at Nightmare, but I think what some people fail to realize is that we already had a first look of how a identity swap entomologist would look like during the Go Hunting trailer, and it looked like this. And to me, this is a far more striking design for entomologists than Queen Bee is, because it is a very unique take on an identity hunter. Basically, a hunter that is made up by a swarm of bees. And this isn't even just a problem I have with Queen Bee herself. This is a problem I've had with the identity hunters since their inception. So let's go back a bit further. Let's go back to Fool's Gold. Fool's Gold is a clear-cut example of this. Obviously, this is how he looks like back then. Or at least, no, this is how he looks like now. This is how Fool's Gold looks like now. But let me just, if I can just pull this up right now. So Fool's Gold IDV. I can go to his wiki article, which is right here. I can go to gallery right here. And then finally, I can go here. And then this is how Fool's Gold used to look like in the Go Hunting trailer. As you can see, it's uglier, yes. It's a beta design, absolutely, but it is a lot more striking. In fact, if we can just, because the trailer is right here, so let me just open up this trailer. Let me mute this real quick, and then we can just go skip ahead to when Fool's Gold shows up. So he shows up right here. He shows up right here, and then as you can see, like, hang on, let me up the quality because it's at 480p. So as you can see, Fool's Gold still retains the somewhat, his body is like very, very corroded, similar to that of, like, you know, dust that would show up from coal. Obviously, this is just a beta design, but it still is, to me, a lot more striking of a design than the Fool's Gold that we got. The Fool's Gold that we got is... he's not bad. Hold on, where is he? He's not bad, but he looks too much like Survivor Norton, if that makes any sense. Like, he's still cool. I like the design with the rocks and stuff, but he looks too much like Survivor Norton for me to really like that design. Whereas with the Go Hunting Fool's Gold, yeah, sure, like, you can still see remnants of the old Prospector, but he is just that enough monstrous looking for you to just see that it is a different character. The same can be said about Hullabaloo. Now, I do like Hullabaloo's design kit. Like, I do, and it's because he reminds me of a Jack-in-the-Box with all the springs, the broken face. Those are stuff that I really like, but he suffers from the same problem that Fool's Gold suffer from, and is the fact that he looks too similar to Acrobat. He looks so similar to Acrobat, and that's a problem that doesn't really exist for the Survivor forms, but it's because they're already made to complement their existing hunters. For example, you can't really make Professor look so similar to Lizard because, well, he's a survivor, and it's very easy to see Professor eventually becomes Lucino, I mean, the Lizard Man, and it's because of his design. It's just a more human lizard, so obviously he's not going to look similar to his hunter form. Same thing with Weeping Clown. Weeping Clown is very, very different from Smiley Face, and that's what makes those designs so distinct, which is why I really don't like that the identity survivors, I mean, yeah, the survivors who are turned into identity hunters are just the survivors, but hunter forms. I feel like nothing will ever top Nightmare's design, because Nightmare is just so physically distinct from Novelist. He looks nothing like Orpheus, but he still has a lot of design philosophies that make you realize that it is Novelist. Novelist is a writer, so obviously he has the fountain pen as his weapon. When you take off Novelist's coat, you can see that he has the same undercoat as Novelist, and novelist is allegedly the person behind the Manor game, so Nightmare wears a mask, a Plague Doctor mask, and they also use that Plague Doctor mask to its advantage because of the fact that it reminds people of birds so much. So Nightmare is very bird-like. He has crows or ravens. It doesn't matter. But yeah, you can see that Nightmare is a very physically distinct design in terms of matching him with his survivor form, which is why it's so disappointing to me that a lot of the identity hunters are just their survivor forms, but with just like a little bit of extra things. Which then leads us to, in my opinion, the disappointment that is, where is she? Queen Bee, who, other than the fact that she has antenna and wings and she doesn't have her face mask anymore, it's just entomologist. It literally is just entomologist. And people have been comparing her to Ivy, which, like, I could definitely see it because she just looks like Ivy in this pose. So, like, okay, let me go here. I don't think I'm gonna find it here. Hunters. So let me just scroll all the way down. Like, but like, I could, yeah, right here. She looks like Ivy. Let me just do this. Go right here. Like, she looks like Ivy. So like, it's the same posing. It's the same like weird little like creases on the shoulders. Uh, it's literally just Ivy, and it's really disappointing to me because when you look at the even just the Ashes of Memory like poster that we saw like a while ago before we saw the the newest trailer which showed off this design, and like when you see this design which was from the Go Hunting trailer which was a long time ago, when you see the book sketch that novelist made about Queen Bee, because like even this is a lot more, this causes your imagination to run as to how hunter entomologists would look like when you see all of this stuff and you just get this. Like, yeah, it's not a bad design. I don't hate the design, but I don't think this is visually striking. I don't like the design. And I'm not saying that I hate the design because I hate entomologists. I just hate the direction that the identity hunters are going in the sense that they just look like their survivor forms, but with some modifications. For example, Fool's Gold with his rocks, Acrobat with his springs, and now Entomologist with just wings and an antenna. It's just very disappointing to me, and I feel like nothing will ever top the design of Nightmare in terms of identity hunters. I wish we could have a hunter design that would essentially stand beside the Nightmare design because it is so striking of a hunter design. But so far we have not gotten a design like that, and honestly it's just really, really disappointing. I do really hope that the newest hunter design that they do does try and continue that philosophy, but until then we'll never really know. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the entomologist design. It's not bad. Like, I think a lot of people are gonna misconstrue this as me saying that the design is that the design is bad, that the design is terrible, it's awful, it needs to be changed. But no, it really doesn't. It's like not horrible. Like, at the end of the day, they wanted to play it safe. This is what the design we went, and it's not a bad design. I just feel like there could have been so much more, especially since we've seen them like try and make a very unique design for Queen Bee. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on the design. It's not my cup of tea, but if it's yours, then that's completely fine. But now we're gonna talk about her skills that she has, things that she will showcase. Once again, these are not the final skills that will come, even in the test server. This is not going to be finalized because this is shown off a month before her actual release. So, yeah, just keep that in mind when we finally dive into her kit. And I won't judge it too harshly. There are some things that I will kind of judge, but other than that, Let's just get onto it. So, for her first skill, she has this thing called a Swarm of Insects, where whoops, it's essentially just her bee swarm. If you know, entomologist can summon her bees and then like move them around. She can latch onto them or she cannot, and just like move them around to help her teammates and such. She essentially has that as her ability. You can see right here, this is the ability that we are talking about. So, with this ability, entomologist can summon her bees, and then she gets this indicator, and then she can lead her bees wherever she wants them to go. So as you can see, she's leading them with this yellow line. You won't be able to see it very clearly because for some reason the IDV stream decided to make this thing really small. There is a tweet that shows it in closer view, and I'll probably link that in the description, but like other than that, this is what we're gonna have to deal with. But yeah, you can see that she can lead it with her like this ability. You can see right here, she's like moving it. So you lead it to where you want it to go, and then you let go to, stop using it. That was very simple. The swarm will follow the direction in which you are leading it. If your swarm touches the survivor while it is being led to its position, you will gain some energy. And we'll talk about what the energy is done in a second. And after the swarm touches the survivor, you'll see right here that the queen bee gets like these little wings. And while these little wings are appeared on the queen bee, she will gain a movement speed buff for a little bit of time. So as you can see, she has her movement buff. So we can kind of time this. Let me time this real quick. So queen bee summons her bees, or stopwatch right here. So she gets the buff. 1, 2, 3, 4. So about 3 to 5 seconds is how long she will have the buff for. I think it's going to be 5 seconds. But yeah, when she touches the survivor with those bees, she will gain a little bit of energy, and then she will gain a speed boost for about 5 seconds. Now, how big is the speed boost? We don't know. They don't specify, but that's something you need to keep in mind. Next up is her modes. So I think that's another thing we need to mention, is that she has 2 modes. Her first mode is obviously the swarm mode, where she can send her bees out, she can lead them, and if they touch a survivor, she gains the speed boost, so like this stuff. And the second mode that she has is when she has the bees absorbed. So you can also recall the bees. If you do recall the bees, okay, hang on, let's go back. So, okay, right here, you can see the bees are out. Like, they're out and about, and entomologist can recall the bees. And when she recalls the bees, she will enter the synergy mode. You can also gain this buff when Queen Bee touches the bees or recalls them, and while in this mode, Queen Bee gains faster interaction speed, so she can vault faster and she can break pallets faster, which is very nice to know about. Lastly, if you noticed, when Queen Bee has her bees inside of her, she has this ability that is unlocked, but then when she unsummons the bees and moves them to the survivor, this ability is locked off. And that is because this is her other ability, which is the attack command. Now, what the attack command does, it allows her to utilize the energy bar at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, the bottom of the screen. So, we're just gonna wait for it to show. So, while in synergy mode, and when you have energy to spare, she can use this attack. attack command. And what this does is Queen Bee can aim the attack command. She could throw it, and then she throws out a projectile that can go over small terrain, so stuff like pallets, stuff like this little box. From my understanding, it will not be able to go through high terrain, so stuff like this won't be able to go through. We don't know if it's going to work like fog blades, so we don't know if she can throw them through walls. But all we know is that at tier 0, she has the swarm that she can summon and unsummon. She can lead them to survivors. If they touch them, then she gets a speed boost. She gets some energy back. She can recall them to go into synergy mode. And she also has attack command, which goes over small terrain. It's a projectile that she can aim, and if it hits the survivor, it deals chip damage, and it grants her chip damage presence. Another thing you need to mention to keep in mind is that the swarm will stay in the area in which the survivor got hit. So you can move the swarm whenever you want. You can also recall the swarm in order to go and, use it to get into synergy mode and get your buff. And the last thing we want to talk about is the Presence 1 ability, which is this weird dash thing. So it's called Reciprocate, and when she's using her Swarm ability to send out when the beast okay, so you send the swarm out, you send it to the direction that it wants, and when you so it's really hard to describe. So because this text is kind of fucking me over, but okay, to explain how this works, you send the bees out, and at any point in time, you can just dive to your bees. So like she doesn't do it here because something to keep in mind is that if you touch the bees and you go into the queen bee mode where you get the 5% boost, it will cancel the ability to do it. But as soon as you're essentially anytime the swarm is out on the field, you can press this ability, and Queen Bee will dash towards the bees really quickly and then jump out. And while she's jumping out, she will do this shockwave that will essentially do a mini AoE attack command that can hurt survivors who are in the radius. And from what I'm understanding, that's all we know about the Queen Bee. We don't know what her final presence is, but that's everything we know about the Queen Bee. And overall, this kit's fine. I really don't have any complaints about it. There is a few things that I took notice of that I don't really know why they did this. So, first off, the attack command. So, we don't know how it works, if it works like Ripper's Fogblade, but what I do know is that for some reason, the attack command puts her in attack recovery. I don't know why this is the case, especially since most chip hunters don't really put you in attack recovery. I just don't understand it. It's just weird. I hope they change that because that seems very disorienting. But who knows? There might be a balance reason as to why they did this. I really don't see why. But another thing to keep in mind is that another thing I did notice is that it looks like Novelist sped up when he got hit by the swarm. Now, I don't know if this confirms that you will gain the damage boost from getting hit by the swarm or not. I really hope that's not the case because, once again, chip hunters do not give attack recovery when they hit you with the chip hits, and they do not speed you up. There's only 2 exceptions to this rule, and those exceptions are Goatman and Gamekeeper. Gamekeeper, for those of you who don't know, if you get hit by the hook, you actually do gain the damage boost when you get hit by hook. And because of that, it can be really good on characters like Lucky Guy, characters like Lawyer, characters like Doctor, characters like Gardner, because if they have Perfume, and they essentially always have their damage boost if they have perfume, because even if the gamekeeper tries to trap their fee, they can just run really quickly with their damage boost. Uh, if gamekeeper hits them, they use perfume and then they get away safely. If not, they still gain the damage boost and they're able to get away quickly. Like, it's just a win-win for veteran survivors. But for most survivors, the damage boost is so low, it's so small that you're not gonna gain any impact from it. And that's why a lot of people probably don't know that you actually gain the damage boost from Ripper, Gamekeeper's Hook. I keep saying Ripper. And Goatman, it should be pretty obvious as to why he gets the damage boost when he does chip hits and why he gets into attack recovery. It's because it is his basic hit. His basic hit is the chip damage hit. So, yeah, that's why he goes into attack recovery. But Queen Bee is the first hunter to be an ability attack that puts her into attack recovery and seemingly causes the damage boost to go off, which I just think is really weird. It's just very strange, and I really hope that's not the case, because that could really, really impact her strength. Because other than the speed boost, which is, I don't think it's that much, I don't think there's really all that much that would make Queen Bee that volatile. She doesn't look that volatile. I feel like when you get into Presence 1, she could become volatile, and I do think she might be she might be another good instance hunter. But other than that, I just don't see the point to this, the chip hit causing her to go into attack recovery, especially since, Queen Bee loses a lot of energy. Like, she loses a lot of energy doing this. So, yeah, that's basically my thoughts on that. This ability's fine. I don't have any comments on this. The modes are cool. I do kind of like the modes. But other than that, I just think like I said, this is not the final verdict. This is not the final thing that we're gonna see about Queen Bee. So it is very subject to change. But other than that, that's really my thoughts on Queen Bee. Honestly, she's not bad. She's not a bad hunter. I don't think she is that bad designed, that bad of her kit. Just from looking at it, I just think I'm just very disappointed. I think that's the best way I can say it. I'm very disappointed in this hunter. And I think it's because my expectations were just so high about how this hunter could have looked, how her kit would have worked, all that kind of jazz. And overall, she's just like fine. That's really it. I really don't know how to end this video. I'm gonna work on the Cubist video, I think. Like I said, I don't know if I should work on the Cubist video or the Lanternist video. I don't know which ones you guys will find more entertaining or not. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it off here, and I'm just gonna let the lead music play for a bit, let the outro play, and I just hope you enjoy. See ya.